Hey guys, we're about to go on stage. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to speak to the audience out there. This is an incredible opportunity.
What's up, Houston? All right. Welcome to Texas. I see y'all with y'all cowboy hats on, right? We do it big in Texas. I'm so excited to be here to spend some time with you guys today. As Mr. Self said, my name is Twiler Portis. I hail right here out of H-Town. And I have the extreme pleasure today to talk to you guys about something that has been a big additive to my business career. And what I'm going to share with you today, I hope that it's going to take you not only where you are, but to another level. How many of you agree that relationships matter? Right? They do matter, right? And we heard that relationships is currency. We heard that, right? And but I also want to encourage you to build really authentic relationships, because in this career it could be a commissionship, and if people don't do what you want them to do, you cut the relationship off, right? But I can tell you that those relationships that you create, they're going to come back around, right? You'll be able to use them. And what I love about TNV is that this organization, this team, have really mastered the culture of relationships, right? And so I'm going to share something with you today. We're going to master some gems, some personalities. We're going to talk about that. And I like to do it in gems, as you guys can see. I love gems, right? And so we're going to talk about the sapphires. And you got a blue, a red, a white, and a green paper. Okay, you're going to use those. If you are a sapphire, sapphires are motivated by having fun, right? If it's not fun, they're not doing it. Sapphires typically, show up with bright colors and they have big personalities, right? That's a sapphire, right? And then we're going to also talk about the pearls. Pearls are people who are motivated by helping people. They're typically, very spiritual. Pearls are the ones who love to recycle, right? And so pearls usually don't get along with the rubies, right? Because the rubies are motivated by a challenge. Rubies are the people who says, hey, listen, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, we're talking about winning. Go, right? Rubies are typically people who they love competition. Rubies are those that they gonna show up on the leaderboard. They want to be number one. They want to be first, right? They want to sit on the front row, right? And so those are the rubies. And then we're gonna also talk about the emeralds, okay? Emeralds are the facts and figures. They want all of the facts. They slow to get started, right? But when they get started, they go. And you need all of these personalities on your team. They make up just a good gumbo, if you know what I'm talking about, okay? And but what is going to be so important for you and I is to identify what the personality is, because then we can engage them, right? We can speak their language, right? We can say the right things to get them to go, right? Versus the things that turn them off. And then before you know, it's like, oh, I don't like my upline. Oh, I can't get along with my sponsor. Oh, I don't like, because we're talking the wrong language, right? So let's get into it. Based on what I said today, raise up the paper. If you're a sapphire, raise up the blue. If you are an emerald, motivated by the facts, raise up the green. If you are a pearl, you are motivated by helping people, right? Raise up the white. Look around, leaders, look around, look at your team. If you are a ruby, you're motivated by a challenge, I want you to raise up the red. Y'all look around. These are your team. This is how, and we're going to learn today how to talk to them. Y'all ready? All right, if you're ready, say I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready too. Okay, so let's go ahead and, dog. All right, here we go. All right, so I talked about the pearls. Listen up, this is so key. Guys, this is what helped me earn millions of dollars in the industry of network marketing and home-based business. This is what has helped me to create lasting relationships. All of my friends that are dear friends of mine, I met in this industry, but I knew how to talk to them. I knew how to inspire them. I knew how to encourage them, okay? And so let's talk about the pearls. It's the first one. Here are the traits, pearls, core traits. They're emotional, compassionate, right? They're nurturing, right? They're connectors, and they're driven. You need pearls on your team. They're the ones that's gonna be like, oh, come on, this is, I love you, right? Those are the spiritual ones. Pearls typically don't get along with rubies though, because rubies kind of bully them around. And pearls don't like to charge full price for their service. They're looking for a way to give a discount, okay, right? And here are the challenges though. They're overly sensitive. They hold on to hurt and struggle with boundaries. Here's some of the strengths though. They are deep connectors and they're trustworthy, okay? You can trust that they're gonna do what they say they're gonna do, right? That's the pearl personality. And so what I wanna share with you guys is that when you think about what it is that they need, okay? What is it that the pearls need? They need love. They need appreciation. Pearls need security, and they need connection. Guys, when you're building a business, understanding the personalities of people, because we don't have a business if we don't have people, okay? And at the end of the day, there is no I in team. You need a team. And so you gotta care. And the way that you care is that you get to know who you're talking to, right? The moment you do a sit down, the moment you're on the phone, you can recognize the personality if you learn what we're talking about today, right? Because if you ask them, hey, what do you love? We kind of do the form, right? The family, the occupation, right? The recreation and the message and all those things. Through that, you're gonna know what personality it is. So if I'm talking to a pearl, I'm gonna say, hey, listen, right? We do a lot of great things for people, right? We even at our events, we give back, right? I'm telling the pearl on how they are going to be able, we start our events with prayer. Oh, that's like, I'm in. I'm in. Oh, so those are the things that you're going to speak when you're talking to a pearl. You're not going to tell a pearl, hey, listen, man, you got to hit the leaderboard, this team is number one. And you're telling this pearl all of these things that's challenging, and you're not talking his or her language. Does this make sense? Right? You guys get that? Okay. So we're talking about the pearls. So what about the emeralds? Emeralds, facts, figures. They're loyal. You need emeralds on your team because guess what? They're gonna know everything about the membership. They're gonna read every single thing. They're gonna know, what the basic plan is, the preferred plan. They're gonna know, right? I call my pearls. It's like, hey, how much we get paid when we sell a $72.90? What is it? How much we earn when we sell a $49 plane? They know, right? Emeralds know. They have the facts. But guess what? When you're prospecting and you're talking to an emerald, because they have all this, you ask them what they do, they got this long title, very detailed. Just like, that's an emerald. All right? So you already know. So how are you talking to them? Right? Don't get angry when they don't sign up on the spot. They're not going to. They're going to look at all of the details first. Right? And when they look at the details, here's who they are. When they get started, they're going to go. They're going to be valuable to your group. Okay? They're going to be very, very valuable to your group. And they're great thinkers. They're very organized. And they're very, very disciplined. Right? So your emeralds are going to be the ones like when you're having your nightly events, right? They're going to make sure everything is there. They're going to make sure all the labels are there. Everything that's needed is going to be there when you're talking to an emerald. Does this make sense? And they need clarity, right? Emeralds typically marry sapphires because they bring structure to their lives, right? Emeralds are big savers. They look at the long haul, right? If you're painting vision, they're going to be able to see what you're saying because they don't just look at right here, they look at out there. Make sense? Right? So you know how to identify when you're talking to an emerald. And in your organization, guys, you need to know who it is that you're working with and how to inspire them. Is this good so far? Yes. All right. Let's talk about rubies. Rubies, ladies and gentlemen, are Their core trait is bold, and they're direct, and they're competitive, right? And they're confident, and they're action-oriented. And you need rubies. Those are sometimes your big leaders. They come already ready to lead, okay? Right? And what are the challenges, though? They're impatient. Like, what? It's taking you a year to go get your $50,000 ring? What are you doing? Twyla, you could have did this a long time ago, right? They're impatient. But when you hear them, you already know he's a Ruby personality or she's a Ruby personality, right? They're controlling and they're blunt. So you don't get offended because that's who God made them. That's their personality. You guys with me? Right? And they could be intimidating. That's why that's why pearls don't really like them that much. Right? What about the strengths, though? Leadership, results driven. They're efficient. They're fearless. They don't care. They give them the wall and they'll bust through the wall. You need them on your team. You need them in your organization. But you want to identify who they are, right? They need results. They need efficiency. They need quick solutions. And so when you are prospecting, you don't prospect and tell a Ruby that, hey, you know what, here, this organization, we're just going to help a whole lot of people, right? No, when you're talking to a Ruby, you're telling them, hey, listen, right? This team is the #1 winning team. And I know with you being a part of it, you're going to keep us there. Man, that Ruby's like, yeah, tell me about it, right? You're going to give it to them because that's what they want. You got to stroke their ego. You got to tell them, hey, listen, we have leaderboards here. And there's some people that usually is at the top of the board, but I already know, man, you're going to come in here and kill it. I already know, girl, you're going to come in here and kill it, right? That's how you talk to a Ruby. And you're talking what? Their language, right? And they're quick to get started, right? But I want to tell you some of the challenges, though, is that I lack emotional awareness. Some of the challenges. Uh-oh. I see some red papers going up. Okay, what happened to my Duli Fachi? All right. So listen, I talked to you about the personalities. And guys, this is very, very serious because we're dealing with people. There are different reasons that people come to us. There's different reasons that God has given us people. There's different reasons why people are attracted to us. And it's our job to do the right thing by the people. Because in this industry, people come here for several reasons. They come here because they need more money. They need extra income. They come here because they just want to be a part of a community, right? They come here because they need to be loved on, right? They come here because they need more leadership. They want to grow. They come for different reasons. And when we understand that people come here for different reasons and we understand the personalities, we can give them what they came here for. Does that make sense? Because what we normally do is we give them what we want. That's what we normally do. But it's okay to stretch a person, but just don't break them. Right? Just don't break them. And so based on what I shared with you guys today, I talked to you about the sapphires and their strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Sapphires are those that are motivated by fun. Did I even talk about sapphires today? No? Okay. Sapphire, I'm going to get to what y'all see, but sapphires are motivated by fun. If it's not fun, they're not doing it. Okay? And sapphires are very enthusiastic, and they're very optimistic. Right? Sapphires will get started right away. Okay? But you don't want to tell a sapphire, hey, listen, you got to learn everything about the plans. You got to go out here and talk to all of these groups. You got to know how to do all this paperwork. You cannot. They are like, oh, no. No. You got to tell a sapphire, hey, listen, here at Legal Shield, man, we have a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, we got an after party on Saturday night. Okay. You got to let them know that, hey, at our events, there's music that's being played. You get to meet so many people, build so many relationships, okay? That's their language when you're talking to them. Their sapphires, though, their weakness is that they do not follow up. They are terrible at detail, right? They'll go and talk to everybody. They're a social butterfly, but when it comes to following up, they're bad at that, right? And they tend to talk too much. And too loud, right? And they're late. So you don't want to put a sapphire as the person that's going to do registration, okay? If you put the sapphire, when family in Maryland, and say, hey, I want you to do registration, make sure you're here on time, and the sapphire's like, okay, yes, I love that. I'm gonna meet people. Oh, yes, great. And here now the event starts at 7. They're supposed to be there at 6. Here comes a sapphire at 6:45. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm late. What? Yeah. Don't set them up for fail, okay? Because they're not going to be on time. All right? But they like having fun, and they like to party, and they love the spotlight. But sapphires, you need them. You need them on your team because they're going to bring the fun, the excitement, the enthusiasm. They're going to sit at the edge of their seat. They're going to be up dancing. Like if you're on stage, man, you want a bunch of sapphires because they're going to give you the energy. All right? Okay, so now, based on what I said, if you are a sapphire, raise up your blue card. Raise up your blue card. If you're a sapphire, y'all look around. Look around. All right? Now, here's the thing. You have a dominant. You have a dominant, but you also have a secondary. But you also have all of the personalities. You have all of them. Right? So blue, where are the blues? Come on, raise them up. Okay, awesome. Look around, y'all. Right? Where are the rubies? Who are the rubies? Rubies, rubies, rubies. Raise them up. Okay, look around. And these people are on your team. Now you know how to talk to them. All right? What about a pearl? You're like helping people. You're very spiritual. All right? You recycle. You wear nice earth tones. All right. Wow, a lot of pearls. Man, y'all got a sea of pearls. Okay. All right. What about emeralds? Emeralds. Facts. Figures. Okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. And so here's what I want you to do. This is your homework. This is your homework this weekend. Your homework is to start noticing, okay? To start noticing. When you have your team events or, when you get together with your teams during the breaks, you want to start noticing, right? Some of you already are thinking about, man, this person this is why, I can't move them forward. Or this is why we disconnected because you're talking the wrong language to them, right? Over this weekend and when you get back home, when you're out prospecting, when you're talking to people on the phone, you want to ask specific questions. And a lot of times it's, hey, what do you do for a living? A lot of times once you do the form, the FORM, you know what personality they are. And so now you know how to talk their language and engage them. Does that make sense? All right, okay, well, awesome. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Can you guess these personalities? Can you guys put this on the screen for me? All right. All right, so Tracy Self, what is her personality? Her dominant is a pearl, and her secondary is a sapphire. Tracy, is that right? All right. Tracy's going to tell us because we need to know, right? Because we definitely want to talk her language. We don't want to make her mad. Right? And then we don't want to give her something that is a dislike. Does that make sense? Right? What about Dr. Lowe? What's Dr. Lowe? Who says she's a pearl? Raise your white paper if you think she's a pearl. I know all of you hadn't engaged with her, but those of you who have, raise it if you think she's a pearl. Okay, raise it if you think she's a emerald. Okay, I know what her personality is, and she is an emerald. She's an emerald, and her secondary is pearl. Yes. What about Mr. Self? Huh? What is Mr. Self? Wrong. Bah. What is Mr. Self? I know what it is. Sapphire? Nope. Nope. Mr. Self is a pearl. He's a pearl. That's his dominant, but his secondary is ruby, which is a different dynamic, right? Right? What about Mr. Wynn, Mr. Marty Wynn? Look around. Okay. All right. Okay. Y'all cheated because y'all saw him raise up his paper, but he is definitely, hold on. He's definitely a ruby. Flaming. All right. So hold on a second. So y'all see how the personalities can be dominant. And here's the other key, where you could give grace. Where you could give grace. Because at the end of the day, we want everyone that come to us, that come into this organization, that come into the Legal Shield business, we want them to have a great experience. And the only way that we can give people the experience that they deserve is that we talk their language, okay? And we, here's the last thing I'll say in my last few minutes, that network marketing, sometimes we try to change what it is. But when we go into other industries, we conform to what the industry is. If it's accounting, if it's, if it's medical, or if it's, customer service, or whatever it is. But for some reason, we want to come into network marketing and want to change what the industry is. And this industry literally was built on helping families earn an extra $500 to $1,000. That's what it's built on, working part-time, while they earn a full-time income in their careers. But we also want to help them if they want more, and if they want to release where it is that they can do that here. This is the only place that you can come and do something consistently over time and be able to have some options. Like calling well and tell your job, well, I'm not coming back no more. Right? This is the industry where you literally can start small, and when you look up, there's so much residual income and leverage that have come into your life that you really sometimes have to talk yourself out of it because you can't believe what's happening, okay? We've been able to experience that. We've been able to experience $100,000 weeks. We've been able to experience that. But that doesn't happen without people. You cannot do it by yourself. You just can't. And for me, and understanding this industry, it is about creating leverage so that you don't have to be the one-all, be-all, right? That's what it's about. And when you learn these dynamics of understanding the personalities and treating people as if they are gems, because they are, then I can promise you that you can live the best life that you ever want to live, and having true residual income and being able to create leverage in your organization is definitely the way to go. All right, did you guys get some today? All right. Thank you guys so much for your time today. God bless you, God bless your families, and we'll see each and every one of you at the very top.
Hey guys, I just got off stage. Man, we gave so many incredible gems today. I'm excited about the information that was shared.